Okay, guys. So you see, this is why I say Toulouse is one of the best clubs in the world, potentially the best club in the world, and they showed it today, and they showed it in bundles. All right, taking consideration that they like half of their team is out with France right now, especially with a player like Dupont, Malvaca, Miafao, and the bloody list goes on. They are still able to put the sword to Clermont. Clermont, they tried their absolute best to work. They tried their best to play around Toulouse, but they just couldn't. Don't get me wrong. They put a lot of pressure. Unfortunately, they didn't exactly have the best of time in terms of injuries, and things just weren't going their way. But they didn't make use of the opportunity. I mean, you look at the second half. Toulouse started with 14 men because of that yellow card at the end of the first half, but they couldn't truly capitalize. Yes, they came close. Yes, they took the lead up against Toulouse. But what happened? Where did this game finish? This is what I'm talking about. Toulouse have ridiculous depth in their squad. You have a player like Jack Willis or Jacques Willis captaining your side, a player that should be potentially captaining England, but he can't because of the RFU. But captaining their side, making the most out of every single opportunity. We saw players like Jalon, we saw players like Delibes. They played their socks off. And I mean, can we just take a second to appreciate that layoff for Delibes' try? That was just absolutely beautiful. Quick work, quick thinking, boom, straight off. Brilliant, brilliant work, right? But it's just no matter what, no matter what Clermont tried to do, Toulouse had they had their number, and we saw just how good Toulouse are when it comes to running with the ball, running with that ball in hand, playing off, using their layoff, using those rucks, jackling. They are scary. They play fast-paced rugby, and we saw it. We saw it today. Clermont, they are no pushovers. I think they're fifth in the league right now, and because of this win, and because Bordeaux they slipped up, Toulouse has now come first. There's 9 games remaining in the league. What are the chances of Toulouse slipping up? Very minimal. Now, yes, players like Dupont, they've pretty much gone for like half of the season, but look at the talent that was on show here today. It was just absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. You know, they really push, and it's that constant pressure. They made Clermont make mistakes after mistakes, finding they were jackling for that ball. They were putting so much pressure on Clermont that it was just ridiculous. And then you see when Toulouse, they start getting into their rhythm, they start getting into that flow, right? They become almost unbeatable because then it's just pass off, running it down the line. Then you have your your wingers that are just like jumping in and out of players, and Clermont were just confused because Toulouse they just kept finding space after space after space. It's like how do you defend up against this? And there aren't many teams that are actually able to do it and to do it effectively. Plus, we are talking about a second team for Toulouse. Now, please don't get me wrong. This Toulouse side is stacked, right? But when you think so many of their players are currently out for French duty, it's ridiculous. The quality that was on play here, right? And like I say, Clermont, they weren't exactly the luckiest when it came to injuries. I can't remember who it was that went off. I think it was in the first half for a high tackle. So not only did he get worse off from the tackle, because it was a high tackle, he got a yellow card. Plus, his nose was damaged. I think he cut his eye or something like that. Ended up not coming back on. But Toulouse, they were just a class above today. They really, really were just a class above. Gelon had an absolutely brilliant game. He really, really did have a brilliant game. The Leeds had a brilliant game, and we saw this. You know, Clermont. They every time they kept trying to claw back. I think it was Lee. Lee got a try late end of the first half. I think it was literally the last seconds of the first half, and you saw that pressure that Clermont was putting on Toulouse, and it just kept running and running and running and running. And you're thinking, "Are Clermont actually going to get a try?" And eventually, they end up getting the try, but it was that desire kept that kind of kept them in the game. And then when Clermont took the lead, I was like, "Oh, okay, things are getting serious now, right? Things are really, really getting serious." But it just felt like once Clermont took that lead, Toulouse just said, "You know what? We're just going to kick in our bloody Sonic gear and just take things up a notch." And next thing you know, they damn near enough unplayable. Clermont tried and tried and tried and tried, but Toulouse, they were just too good on the day. They were just far, far too good. So let's run through the tries from both sides and then kind of finish this off. So Toulouse had tries from Delibes, Gelon, and Grau, converted by Delpy and Malia, and then Delpy and Malia got penalties on top of that. Um, Clermont got tries from Lee, brilliant try by the way, very hard worked last seconds of the first half. Then Delgai below converted one of them, and then he got two penalties. Just was consistent, and this is why I do believe Toulouse are the kings of France. Even when their stars are gone, they still manage to put out a kind of performance like this up against a top five squad. Top five squad, yes. Because you got to think Miafal, Malvaca, Ntamak, Ramos, Dupont. What the hell, people? Like, you can easily name a bloody squad for Toulouse that's just out of France. So it's just absolutely ridiculous. It ended 35-18. Toulouse, Kings of France, they deserved it. Chocobares, I loved watching Chocobares play. Once he's coming off of that injury, he put himself in quite a good performance. Castro, I think he put in pretty good performance coming on after. Willis, Brennan, again, I think he put in a brilliant performance. Um, Lebel, again, just the the Toulouse squad had a pretty consistent game. I would like to say I couldn't say like outright, look, this person had a horrible game. It was a very, very interesting game because the score lines were so close. Like I say, at one point, Clermont took the lead, but this is what Toulouse do. They find a way to win, and this is something I always say: winners always find a way to win, even when you're in the rough, when things aren't going your way. Find a way to win, and Toulouse just kicked it up that extra like 10 notches, and said, "You know what? We're killing this game off," and that is exactly what they did. They played brilliant, 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 brilliant rugby. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below and hear what you guys think in relation to this game. Do you think Toulouse now have the season in hand? 9 games left. They are playing Bordeaux next. So this is going to be a very, very big game because if Toulouse can get a win over Bordeaux, which considering the Bordeaux game, I think they can definitely do it. And Toulouse are a much more deep squad than Bordeaux. So I think I think Toulouse will have that game. It's not going to be easy, and it could go either way. But Toulouse, I believe they're going to have far too much power to be able to, well, for Bordeaux to be able to handle them. So yeah, 9 games left. Toulouse are now first. Can't see them handing that title back. And if Bordeaux lose to Toulouse in the next game, it's just all hell's going to break loose because you're just going to start seeing Toulouse just make that lead. They're just going to start you know creating that gap, and then that's going to become difficult, as we saw in this game. once Toulouse got that lead, they made it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And next thing you know, you're with your hand in your ass saying, "What the hell do I do?" Just scratching. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in relation to the game. As always, I love French rugby. Some of the best free flowing rugby that you're going to find, and my love for Jacques Willis is forever growing. And England are stupid for having him just there, just there. Come on, guys, come on, get your heads on. Um, yeah, guys, as always, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.